Hey everybody, Jeff here. Welcome back to the carbuyingtipscom channel. What a great video we have for you today. In this product review, we have the ultimate challenge. We're going to be comparing this brand new products that Turtle Wax just released a few weeks ago. And this is supposed to be the new highest end wax out there. This is their graphene products. And we're going to put them head to head against the Meguiar's Ultimate Wax. And we're going to see which one does the best. And it all starts right now. So we have the perfect test vehicle here for you. This is a 2020 Ford F-150 King Ranch truck. Now this truck is a year old. It has never been waxed. And it came back from Vermont over the summer where it was never even washed since it's been up there. So we're going to have to strip this thing all the way down to pure clean paint. And you should do that anytime you're waxing as well. You want to strip everything down and decontaminate the surface. So you should never be polishing or waxing over contamination. Okay, so here's our three core products that Turtle Wax announced just a couple of weeks ago. This is from Turtle Wax's Hybrid Solutions Pro line. So these are now supposed to be their new top-of-the-line products. So starting off right here, Turtle Wax has their new one-and-done compound correct and finish. So what this is it's two products in one. It's a compound and a polish. So what's interesting about this is you don't have to change the product, you just change your pad when you're applying. And depending on what type of pad you have on there, will determine whether or not you're using it as a compound to help remove scratches and stuff like that and imperfections. This is the graphene infused flex wax. Now what's interesting about this flex wax, this sprays on like a liquid, and you can spray it on dry or you can spray it on wet. This actually has three different methods of applying it, and that's why they call it flex wax, because you can use it as a base coat, or you can use it as your actual main wax coat, or you can use it as a maintenance coat. And then lastly here we have Turtle Wax's new Hybrid Solutions Pro Graphene Infused to the Max Wax. So this, I would imagine going forward, is going to be their new top-of-the-line wax. Does the same thing as the Flex Wax, except this just goes on like a traditional liquid wax and you have to buff it on and then wipe it off, let it dry to a haze and wipe it off. Those of you that don't want to expend all of that work can easily just use the Flex Wax, because this, you can spray it on the wet car and let the water do the work. You can spray it on, 2 sprays per panel, and then hose it off. Okay, now Meguiar's claims that their Ultimate Liquid Wax is their most advanced hydrophobic wax ever. And this is actually the first wax that I've ever seen advertised on the box that you can actually apply it and wipe it off in full sun, because all the others tell you to do it in the shade. The Meguiar's liquid wax with their thin film technology also comes with an applicator pad and a black microfiber towel. Okay, so for doing the car wash phase, we are going to be using a safer method here of using 2 buckets. And now those of you who are not familiar with that, we use this one for the soap and we'll use this one for the rinse water. And what we'll do is we'll have a grit guard here in the bottom of the bucket. So this is all what comes in the Turtle Wax bucket when you buy it with the whole kit. And so what you do is you dip in here with your wash mitt to wash the car, and then when you're done and you want to rinse, you dip it in here and you move the mitt around on the grit guard. So here on the wash bucket, we have triple protection here. We have one grit guard on the bottom, and then we have a second grit guard that elevates you up even further above any kind of dirt that might end up in the water. And then we have what we call the washboard grit guard, which when you're coming in with your mitt, you just wipe all the dirt off like that. Okay, and then here on the Turtle Wax bucket, we have just the single grit guard here, and we'll put that right in the bottom like that, and we're off to the races. You've seen parts of this already, but we are using the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions Pro Car Wax Kit during this test. And we'll put links to all of the products we're using down below in the video description. And just so you know, anytime we give you links to Amazon or any other site products and tools and things like that, we get a small commission. And so we thank you so much for supporting our channel in this manner, folks, and using the links that we give you to buy tools and products that we evaluate. This is what helps us continue to be able to buy more products to test for you and to produce more world-class videos. Okay, as you can see here, both the driver's side mirror and the passenger side mirror are just coated with bugs. So all of these have to come off. So for cleaning the wheels and rims, we prefer to use either the Sonax or the Meguiar's Ultimate All-Wheel Cleaner. Both of these will change colors to purple, letting you know it's dissolving the iron. And also here, the Double Black Brake Buster is an awesome product because it's an all-wheel and tire cleaner. This will do a great job of cleaning off all the brown off of your tires. And in typical fashion, when we wash the car, we're starting at the bottom with the wheels first. We'll clean the wheels first, and then as we wash the vehicle, we will start washing from the roof down, because everything just flows downward. So you can see we do this counterintuitive to the way you might see other people do it, because there's so much dirt on your wheels and tires, you don't want it splashing back up on your paint after you've already washed the car. So that's why we wash the tires first. Okay, now we're beginning the decontamination process, and we're going to do this before the wash. This will dissolve all of the iron brake dust that you drive through, and it will dissolve through some of the other contaminants as well. And you spray it dry onto a dry car all over the entire vehicle. Also, remember, you should be washing and waxing your car in the shade, not directly in the sun, so that the chemicals don't dry on you before they should. We're just doing it for the video, for better color and lighting. Okay, now we're going to start the washing part, and we're using our soap gun. And then we're going to use our nice thick microfiber wash mitts. Okay, now that we've shampooed the car and everything, just because you wash your car doesn't mean that it's clean. So if you take your hand and rub it on the wet car right now, you'll feel lots of grit all over the place. That needs to come off too. So a lot of people will either use clay or a clay mitt. We prefer to use a clay mitt, and we come by, we re-soap the car, so we essentially wash the car 2 times. We'll come by with that clay mitt and we'll rub it around here till you don't feel any more of this grit on here. Using our California squeegee here, I love this thing. Now we're going to spray the Meguiar's bug and tar remover right here. We're going to do the mirrors, the hood, and the whole front of the truck where there's still quite a few bugs on. We just uploaded a video last week comparing the top 3 bug and tar removers, so we'll put a link to that video down below in the video description for you. Turtle Wax one and done compound and polish. So what this is this is a one and done compound and polish product, and this has the precision platelets in it. If you use the more aggressive pads like this Lake Country pad here, these will cut in deeper and they'll help you get rid of the swirls. Otherwise you can apply by hand with these little applicator pads as well. So what we're going to do is we've already checked the truck here and there's no swirls on it. So we're just going to apply it lightly with the pad that's not as aggressive, and we'll apply this around the whole vehicle. All right, so I'm just going to apply 3 little, that's all you need. A little bit goes a long way with these, just 3 little dots like that. And we'll do a 2 square foot area with this. We'll get it on there and then we'll buff it right off. Okay, I'm using one of the microfiber towels that came in the Turtle Wax kit. And I like these because these are edgeless, so you don't have to worry about tags or, rough edges on these. So we're going to use this to remove the polish. So one of the things that we notice here is that it comes off very easily, and I don't see it leaving the oily residue like most other polishes do. And that's why a lot of times with other polishes, you'll have to spray IPA, which is that isopropyl alcohol mixture on there afterwards to clean up any of the residual oil. But here, we don't even see it. And the other thing too you'll notice is it's completely dustless. So taking this off doesn't shoot off any powder like you might see sometimes with the other types of polishes. That's another reason why we like applying it with the polisher instead of doing it by hand, because with the polisher you're putting on a much thinner coating. Okay, so I would say that the fact that this comes off so easily like this and leaves no dust, I give that a big thumbs up, that's for sure. Camera by it and see. So we got this scratch that's right along here, and it arcs around here. We're going to see if we can get that to come off with the polish. I'm going to go back and forth over it this way. And then we're going to go up and back over it. And let's see how it does. And look at this, man. It got rid of the scratch. We can't even see it. We felt around for it. We can't feel it either. So we didn't even have to go with the more aggressive pad. We just used the regular pad here. And check this out, man. No white at all on the black plastic. So just even cleaning it off, it's not like you'll see whether it's on or off or not. It's just simply not there. Yeah, so this did pretty good. That's pretty impressive too. That's another one of my pet peeves about waxing is getting in on the cracks. Okay, now if you look right here, you see all these scratches here? You can see a whole swath of vertical scratches. That commonly happens when the dealerships are delivering the vehicles to people, and then people just don't notice it. We're going to see if we can get the polish and compound here to remove that. I'm going to try it just with a hand applicator to see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll get more aggressive. We'll move up the line. So you saw me do an aggressive application here with the applicator pad, and we'll just see how it comes off with the cloth now. Okay. Now as you look right here, it is just perfectly black. Looks like black glass. There's no swirls. It's just absolutely completely smooth. I'm very impressed with this step. I mean, we didn't expect much at all. Usually when I see scratches in plastic, I'm not hopeful for a good outcome, but this was incredible. All right, so now one of our pet peeves is when we're waxing a car is always getting the wax and stuff caught in these little nooks and crannies. So what I want to do is just try to rub some around in here and see what happens. Remember, this is the polish. It's not going to leave as much cakey stuff as the wax does, but we'll test this out with the wax as well. But I want to see what the polish does, because there are some polishes out there that kind of go on thick and go on white and dry to a haze. And if you've noticed, this has not dried to a haze. It just kind of stays a little bit wet longer, I think. And it buffs off just so much easier. Okay, so now when I come in here to wipe it off, you notice it's not drying to any kind of white haze or anything. So it's not leaving any deposits of white, crystalline, waxy stuff in here around these nooks and crannies, which is good. So that's another plus, I think. So these are all of the features that I look for in a wax. I guess everybody has their own criteria of what they look for. But remember, we're all talking about the ease of removing the product. How easy does it come off? And look at this. It's just not, I wasn't even exerting any force. It came off pretty good. One thing we noticed with this newer Turtle Wax polish is that you can see here, look how clean the towel is. It did not get all gummed up, which is typically what happens with a lot of the other cheaper brands that we've used in the past. So we certainly liked this. Okay, so just a reminder that this one and done compound polisher does not have the graphene in it. Now we're going to apply the wax, and that does have the graphene in it. Okay, so now we're testing the Turtle Wax graphene infused to the max wax. So this is more of your traditional bottle type wax, except it doesn't really go on white. We're going to apply it onto this section of the hood right here. And then we just do a small area. It says on here to do a 2 foot by 2 foot area, let it dry to a haze, and then buff it off. We're going to do like a little bit of a stress test here and see if we do this whole spot here, how does it come out here? Okay, so we're going to put 3 dime-sized spots on the pad and then just start. And you want to make sure you get it on there as thin as you can because you don't want to leave a lot of this on there. You'll get streaking. You don't want to use any more than what they say to use on there. Okay, now that it's dried to a haze here for about 2 or 3 minutes, the instructions tell us to use a damp microfiber cloth to remove it. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we finished and it looks really good. And, you know, I'm surprised because I didn't think that using a wet microfiber cloth would make that much difference, but apparently that's what you need in order to cut through it. When you're wiping it, it looks like it's going to leave terrible streaks, like it's not going to come off, but it does. It's like as soon as you're done, it just starts to evaporate right off, and it looks perfect now. Next, we are going to apply the Meguiar's Ultimate Liquid Wax onto the passenger side of the vehicle. To the max wax on the hood, we are now going to switch here to the graphene infused flex wax. So this is their spray-on wax. Now this will be probably more popular with a lot of people that are tired of doing the old, buffing and buffing. So all you do here is there's 3 different ways to apply this. That's why they call it the flex wax. So we can spray it on to the car door dry, and then you buff it with one towel here, and then you wipe it with a second towel. And if you get a little bit of residue on there, you can go ahead and wipe it with a third towel that's wet. Now, you got to follow the instructions closely here because it's 2 sprays per panel. 1 spray there, 1 spray there, and that's all you do, and you wipe it. So what we're doing here is this will set up a base coat, and we're going to let it cure overnight, and then we're going to spray on a maintenance coat and see how that looks. Okay, so now what makes this product so flexible is there's 3 different methods that they show here on the back for you. And then these other 2 maintenance coats, these are actually quick ones. There's one here, the one step is for the lazy, for those of you who are lazy out there. So there you go, 2 sprays per panel. So we'll just wipe it with one. Now we're going to take a second dry microfiber towel, let's fold it over and buff it. Okay, so remember we did the 2 sprays per panel. We buffed it off. It came off pretty easy, and you can see it came off effortlessly because I didn't overspray. Don't think that you have to go squirt, 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 squirt. If you do that, you're going to be putting on way too much, and you're going to end up with streak. Okay, so if you just take a look at this beautiful glittery metallic blue pattern here, and it's just incredible the way it screams out at you, this deep, rich, glittery metallic blue. So this is a look of the paint that we haven't seen until we just now polished it and waxed it, and it's absolutely perfect. Any imperfections you might see on there is really, they're just reflections. They're not any leftover material or anything. Okay, so now we're going to do the other method that they show on the back here. This is the one step. This is the lazy man's method that you'll definitely like, and most of you will probably use this. But what you're supposed to do is spray the door wet. So this is right after you've washed the car and your door is still wet. You'll go ahead and you'll give the same 2 sprays, 1 spray and 1 spray, and then just buff it dry there with a towel. So the towel will be spreading out all of the thin polymers there and give you your nice little web of protection, as Turtle Wax calls it. All right, so you can see how nicely this is already beading into small beads because we laid down that base coat last night. So now we're just coming in and adding the maintenance coat. So this is cured overnight. And like that, there's 2 sprays per panel. So once you've done your base coat, and let's say this is a subsequent wash, this is how you would do it then. So this is great for people that don't want to spend all day buffing on waxes. You just spray it on and wipe it off. And you can see there's not even really any residue left because we're doing it correctly. We're not spraying on too much. And sometimes when you're swirling it around like this, so you watch this, you can almost see the streaks and you think, oh, it's going to leave a residue, but it evaporates. You just back off a minute and watch, and boom, there it goes. It just completely evaporates for you. And keep in mind, I'm doing this out on the bright sun. We're supposed to be doing it in the shade, but we did it out in the sun because I want to see how well the product performs under stress. Okay, so now on this door panel here, we're going to apply this flex wax in the third manner here, which is as a rinse wax, and we're going to let the water do the work. Really, there's really hardly any difference between this method and the one-step method. But with this method, we're going to spray the door first with water, then we hit the 2 sprays per panel like we normally do. But then we're going to use an aggressive stream of water to spread the wax out around the door, and then we'll come and buff it off here afterwards. So it is very similar to doing it over here like this, except you're letting the water spread it and do the work for you. I don't really see why there's that much difference between these methods here. My preference actually is to do that base coat, because that way you're getting it on there nice and good and making sure it's everywhere on there and getting a good coverage. But really, I guess with this product, all you need is a thin polymeric coat. Okay, so normally we would start at the roof and work our way down, but we're just doing this one panel just for the purposes of this video. Okay, so remember, normally you would have the entire car wet and you would start at the top and go all the way down, and you would spray the entire vehicle before you hose it off with the aggressive stream. That's the way I would do it. So let's get it with a good stream on here to spread it around. So what we're doing there is we're using the water to actually spread that wax around. And now that it's been applied onto the door, we're going to just buff it off. And remember, if you get any streaking at all, folks, with any of these methods that we've shown here, you just get a separate damp, perfectly clean but damp microfiber cloth and come in and it'll dilute it down and wipe it off, and the streaks will disappear. But if you follow my directions here that I've shown you, you won't have a problem, because look at this, it looks just absolutely perfect. Okay, so now on the Meguiar's side of the hood, we have 91.8 for the Glossmeter at 60 degrees. Okay, so now we're ready to see how well both of these waxes bead water. So remember, the Turtle Wax is on this side, The Meguiar's is on the other side. And I can tell you, just visually looking at it, we can't even tell the difference. So they're both that good. Okay, so looking at the beading here, I can't tell the difference at all between both of these. They both do an excellent job of beading the water away. And so you can see in some cases it's running itself right down the hood there. So these are both very nice and slick. And then over here on the Turtle Wax side, the same thing. Just really nice, finely beaded water. And especially when you get down to the side panels, the beads are just super, super tiny. Okay, so we're just going to spray some water here on both the doors. Remember, these are the two doors where we applied the Turtle Wax as the spray wax with the graphene. And you can see how the water is just continuously beading off of there. It's got great hydrophobic properties and just really, really fine beads of water, just very tiny. Okay, so it seems to me like both products went on well and they both have great beading properties. The Meguiar's had a little bit of powder, but not much, just a little bit. Certainly a lot less than you would see from other typical waxes. So anyway, we hope you found this video useful, and if you did, hey, would you do us a favor, please? Give us a thumbs up down below. That tells us that you like us. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, man, you see all the great product reviews we do here for you. You've seen all of the great guides that we have here on our website and the videos that we have for you, covering all areas of car dealer scams and things like that. And we also cover areas such as tool reviews, because you know you have to work on your cars, and we also do a lot of product reviews as well. And so you don't want to miss out on any of that, so make sure you click on that subscribe button down below. Since 1999, our team of consumer advocates has been both protecting you and educating you, the American car buying public, in all areas of buying new cars, used cars, leasing and financing. And we also reveal all the car dealer scams and set you up so that nobody will take advantage of you. Well, that's it for this week, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all on the next one.